It's October 15th, 2023. We are in Orlando, Florida, catching FCEN Z915 on its way southbound for its interchange run to Taft, Florida. Z915 had just reported a mechanical problem, having him stopped here at South Orlando while they tried to figure out what the issue was. About 15 minutes later, they called the dispatcher and continued south towards Taft.
Engine FCEN Z915, got an approach, Pine Castle, 1 track south.
This train runs every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, southbound at about midnight. The Florida Central Railroad forms part of the Pinsley Railroads. Florida Central runs mostly in Orlando and covers a lot of the western side of Orlando and also interchanges with the CSX at Taft. Because it was so late at night, I was able to get this train at both Pine Castle Road and at Taft. This is the last crossing before the entrance to Taft Yard. The train will spend about 2 hours in Taft Yard before returning back to Modelo Yard on the Florida Central Railroad. A few hours later, and we're back in Orlando for Z915 to return back to its home turf, back to Modelo Yard on the Florida Central Railroad. Today's Z915 is led by FCEN locomotive number 7063, which wears the Port Manatee Railroad paint scheme, another one of Pinsley's railroads. 7063 has been on Florida Central service for the past few years and is accompanied by 2 other GP9 RMs. All 3 of them are over 60 years old and are all from the Canadian National. As of the recording of this video, these 3 GP9 RMs are the typical power seen working around the Orlando area and conducting this local Z915. Much later into the night, I heard CSX L76515 approaching the south end of Taft Yard. L76515 is a daily round-trip service serving the Florida Rock facility just south of the Taft Yard. L765 is a turn job, originating in Winston, running up to Taft Yard, and then returning to Winston daily. I've been rail fanning Orlando in the nighttime pretty frequently. L765 tends to come in at the same time as Z915, maybe an hour or 2 later, because they both come into different ends of the yard. Sometimes I miss this train. I felt pretty lucky on this night to catch both L765 and Z915. L765 pulls up to the crossing, stops blocking the crossing, and then reverses into the Florida Rock facility. L765 works this area most days and ends up tying up a lot of traffic in the area. This train is not typically that long, usually ranging between 60 to 100 cars. Just as L765 was clearing the crossing, I was hearing over the radio that a CO40, renumbered R637, was getting EC1s to go from Point Siena onto CSX's Stanton branch, which services the OUC coal-powered power plant. Moves on the Stanton branch can be extremely unpredictable and uncommon. We don't know when trains enter or leave the Stanton branch, but typically they enter the Stanton branch sometime in the small hours of the morning. At this point it was already 1 in the morning, and it would be 2 in the morning before this train would actually appear on the Stanton branch. Trains move pretty quickly on the CFRC, and apparently they also move pretty quickly on the Stanton branch. What I thought was a 10-mile-per-hour restricted line actually turned out to be pretty fast, as you can see by the video. After catching L765, I rushed down to the Y on the Stanton branch, thinking I would catch the train. But I heard over the radio some chatter that made me think I might have actually missed him. So I started chasing on the Stanton branch, and I actually found this train's tail end. I was able to hop on the highway and go some 10 miles away to Lake Nona, where I was finally able to catch the train at 3 in the morning. Note the second locomotive from the front is numbered locomotive number 12 and has a small inscription on the front nose that says Spirit of Louisville. This forms part of CSX's Spirit fleet, which are locomotives which have this Spirit inscription on the front nose, which honors special locations and key players in the CSX's history. At this point it was 3 in the morning, and although I had heard some other trains over the radio, it was time to go home. This was a really great catch of a train on the Stanton branch, and only my second catch of a coal train on the CFRC in Orlando. These trains are really elusive, and I'm really glad I had the opportunity to catch one more. Thanks for joining me on my late night trip into Orlando. If If you'd like some more of these videos, I've got plenty of other late night train chasing in Orlando. I've also got videos all over the country. Thanks for watching.